Hey, Phil Murphy here for ESPN MMA, and I am joined by one of the most dominant pound-for-pound fighters on the planet, UFC Women's Strawweight Champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who has been so kind to share this link on her phone.
Yeah, I will do that. Give me a second,
All
please.
right, Facebook Live. I'll just read some of your credentials because there are a lot of them. She is the world champion at 115 pounds, has defended her title 4 times. Only Demetrius Johnson has a longer active streak. And Joanna's going for a 5th title defense Saturday night, UFC 211 in Dallas against Jessica Andrade. Send your questions in now to Facebook. We have, you can also go on Twitter, find the link there, ESPN MMA's Facebook page. We are live right now, so get your questions in and we'll get them to Joanna. And Joanna, we have a few questions already from fans on this fight, UFC 115. We'll start with Quest Zone. Sorry, I had audio in my ear from our podcast.
I did.
Quest Zone, you did it, so check out Facebook Live for that. Joanna, Quest Zone wants to know, should I bet all my life savings on you at UFC 211?
Should I bet all my life savings on her for UFC 211? Of course, there is no question about. I know that the money are not so big on me. There is more money on Jessica, but if you put million, you will get some, you know, like, because there is probably like 1.3 or 1.5 on me, so you're gonna get some money back.
UFC 211 podcast, Moto and I talked about that. The odds of this fight being a lot closer than we thought, given how dominant you have been to this point. I mean, it's not hyperbole. You look at the strike differential that you've had in your fights up to this point. You've been utterly dominant, but this fight, for whatever reason, the line's so close. What was your thought when you first saw those lines come out?
I expect, like, I don't know, I felt like Jessica was going to be my next opponent, you know, but there's no easy fights in the UFC. When you are the champion, you must face actually all of them, you know, and you cannot be wishy-washy. I don't want to fight this one, I don't want to fight this or that person, you know. You must face everyone, and you must prove that you are the right person who is holding the belt. So that's the thing.
Got a question from Peter. We've seen you do this before at the weigh-ins. You bring a gift for your opponent. Peter wants to know, will you want to be bringing back the Faceoff gift tradition? He says it is missed.
Oh, is it? Okay, so I must think about, you know, but it's all about the emotions. There is no time for acting, you know. It's a show, but the emotions are real. So I'm trying to explain to people, like, we prepare for the fights for such a long time, you know, few weeks, few months, and we are focused on one person. And when you are the champion, you cannot let people get into your head. You cannot let them talk whatever they want. You cannot let them take your dreams and the bed away. So the thing is, I cannot let them step on my toes. So it's all up to them how they want to play with me, because I played hard game, and sometimes they cannot handle that. So, and sometimes they get a gift, but I don't know what's going to happen this time. I don't have idea yet. It's, like I said, it's all natural, so we will see. But Peter, I will try to think about.
Joanna, you mentioned how opponents try to get in your head.
Yeah.
Try to get the mental edge there. I mean, again, you're a dominant world champion. You want to get an edge wherever you can. What's the key to keeping to not letting them do that?
Man, some people complain, you know, how we act at the weigh-ins or the face-offs. I always invite people, come on, join me for 3 months of hard training, thinking of one person and listening to all these words or bad words about me. I'm very humble and I respect every of my opponent, because I work my ass very hard every day, day by day, and that's the thing, you know. It's MMA, you know. We must be physically ready, but also mentally ready. So that's the thing. It's about being the best athlete, but it's also about the character, the charisma. Look, there is like more than 500 fighters in the UFC, but there is only 11 champions. And look at last year, just me, Demetrius Johnson, and Cormier. We defended our belts. The other champions lost to the other people. So that's the thing. It's very difficult, but I'm happy to defend my title for the 5th time, you know.
And again, if you have questions for Joanna on UFC 211 or really anything, go ahead now to Facebook Live. the ESPN MMA page.
You cannot
Send your
read.
questions
Is
in.
there lots of questions?
There's a lot of love. Just hundreds of people right now. Hundreds of people right now are saying they just love you. So
I love you guys too.
yeah, we are getting some questions, but if you want to keep going with some of the reader ones, then we could go through some of these.
Thomas Anthony wants to know, how do you feel about Rose Namajunas?
I don't know. She won the fight with Michelle Waterson. I thought that Michelle Waterson was going to be my next opponent after the fight with Jessica Andrade, but I don't know. The Rose won, but she's like going up and down. You know, she lost to Carolina before she won with someone. So I don't know if I will face Rose next after Jessica Andrade. I don't know. I'm focused on my fight with Jessica Andrade and only on her.
Well, we're going to ask you a question about a different fight anyway. I know you say you're focused on Andrade. Last question before we get to some of the user questions you guys have just sent in. Nick Del Rossi wants to know, and I think I know the answer to this one. Joanna, if they create a women's 125 division, we saw a press release go out last week, said, hey, there's going to be a flyweight division, and then the UFC backed off on that and said the press release was premature. But a lot of people got thinking, will you try to be a two-weight world champion?
Of course, Nick and the rest. I want to be a first UFC female fighter, and I want to hold 2 belts in different weight classes, you know, in 2 weight divisions, you know, so yeah.
And Joanna had a very interesting answer to that on the podcast previewing UFC 211, so if you're interested in more on that topic, check that out. But for now, Greg, it sounds like we have some questions from fans.
We do have some questions here. Ton of love, but also some questions. Josh Santos is wondering, how important to you is the face-off at weigh-ins?
It's very important. Like I said, I cannot let my opponents get into my head, and it's very important. We must be ready physically and mentally. This is what I said before. It's MMA. It's a very tough sport, not for everyone, and people who are training martial arts, they know how difficult it is. You know, even if you are amateur, you know that you must deal with your own limits. So I like to break the limits every day, and I do that, you know, and that's the thing. And the face-offs are very important. I cannot wait for the fight week. I cannot wait when I will see Jessica. I want to actually face her. I want to look deep into her eyes, and that's the thing. I'm getting more and more excited and with every day. So I like when it's getting closer to the fight.
And it is getting closer Saturday night.
The hard job is done, you know, so it's all about staying fresh. It's all about speed, about the right weight. And yeah, in few days it's all is going to be over, you know, and I will enjoy my life. But I'm happy to put on such a great fight on Saturday in Dallas.
Georgie Afana is wondering, who has intimidated you the most in the past? Is there a fighter that you've gone against that's been pretty intimidating?
I don't know. Claudia Gadea?
In the UFC, what about maybe in your Muay Thai days? I know you fought some skilled fighters there.
Yeah, I had pretty tough fight in Japan in 2009. The organization called J Network, and they have actually shows for female fighters, the J Girls. I faced Satako Sasaki, and I fought for the belt. She was like top. And the thing is, like, after the fight, they brought me ice gels, and I was like, I don't need that. But they're like, but you will need this. I won this fight, but they didn't expect that I was going to win. But the thing is, when I look at my legs after the fight, because I took so many low kicks, she kicked so hard that I couldn't even block, because anytime I was blocking, she could like drop me, you know. Her kicks were so strong. So so then I realized why they gave me that, because I had like big bruises on both of my legs, you know. I couldn't walk next day, but I was happy because I won that fight with such a tough opponent, you know.
And if you want to check out that fight, it's on YouTube. I actually watched it yesterday. Joanna Jędrzejczyk against Sasaki. You'll find it there. Just go ahead and look that up.
We've been getting multiple questions about this fight. Who do you think wins between Claudia and Carolina?
I don't know. I don't know who is going to win. I faced both of them. I faced Claudia Gadea twice, and I know how strong she is physically, mentally. And Claudia Gadea is top of the top in the strawweight division, you know. So lots of respect to Claudia Gadelha. You know, there was a bad blood between me and her, but I respect her as a fighter, and that's all. I don't know who is going to win this fight, but like I said, Claudia Gadelha is a very strong athlete.
I have one question
Sure.
from a fan that sent in earlier, Cody Sasinski.
Jasinski, he's big fan of
Yeah.
Hi Cody. I see him every day on my Instagram, Facebook. He's everywhere.
So Cody, we were talking about all these fighting questions. He wants to know, what is your favorite thing to do outside of fighting?
So many. I love coffee. I love sushi. I like to go on my penny board. I like to do all kinds of activities, you know, outside. I call myself Miss Sporty, and definitely I like to stay active, you know. But so many things. I like to learn new things and try new things. So yeah.
Any more questions from here?
Yeah, we do have some more. I don't know how long we got.
Just
We'll
start
go
firing
We've got a few
questions,
more.
man.
All right,
Go,
Cody.
Rosie.
Cody is saying that there's a big Polish community in Chicago. Is that a place you'd ever want to fight?
Oh, I would like to fight in Chicago. I was to Chicago in July actually for UFC Chicago. Shevchenko home. And it was amazing to meet all of the fans, the Polish community. It's very big, so it was nice. And I had deep fried pizza. No, deep dish pizza.
Deep dish.
Yeah, deep dish.
Pizza. It was amazing. So definitely, I would like to fight in Chicago for my fans, for the Polish community.
Yeah, they actually held a Q&A with Joanna at that event. I was there, and there was a huge pop when you came out.
It was
an amazing
very
atmosphere.
nice. It was very nice.
Who do you think is the best UFC women's fighter you've ever seen? Or who's the best women's fighter you've ever seen?
Ronda Rousey and Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Record plays that out. I have one more question that we had from beforehand. I know you got live questions coming in. We only have a minute or so left, maybe 2 minutes left, so we'll rip through these. Dennis wants to know, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
Beating people for no money, because now I beat people for living and for money. I'm kidding, but no, I was like, you know, I used to grow up like in good neighborhood, and there were like so many kids. When I went out, there were like 30, 40 kids. We used to play all kinds of sports, and so I was always into the sports. So I used to play with the girls. I used to play soccer with the boys. So I was very social since I was a little girl. So yeah, I used to spend the time outside.
All right, we have
No phones,
time for two
no
more
social
questions.
media at that time.
All right, 2 more questions. Just because a lot's going on with the McGregor-Mayweather, John Rogers is wondering, would you ever go into boxing?
Why not? You don't know, but I was part of national team of boxing in Poland, and if I know before, or actually, if I knew before that Polish female national team was that big that time, I could join them early, because I used to go for a few camps and a few competition with them. Amazing. So I had an offer to fight pro in boxing, but I choose MMA, and I think it was a good decision, huh? Am I right?
So far, so good.
Yeah. And from Mikey, when you trained with Jessica, did you spar her, and what kind of training did you guys do together?
Oh, we didn't train serious, you know. It was like, for example, I was at the press conference in Vegas, or she had the fight, and I was there for some media, or the other way around. We used to just train together, because I like to keep on training even when I travel. So we used to just train, but it doesn't matter, you know. I will face Jessica in my next fight, and I know that we're gonna put on such a great fight and show, and it doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't matter. It's all about this fight, because I'm different. I'm different person in the day of the fight.
All right.
I'm a real fighter, and I like these emotions. I like to deal with all the media, with the fans and the atmosphere, and I'm getting more and more excited. But before I step into the octagon, I pray. But when I step on the stairs through the octagon, I get calm, I get quiet, and it's all about taking over.
I'm still surprised she said she liked the media. I feel so touched. Thank you. That's all the time we have for now.
You're my favorite. You know.
There we go. Co-main event, UFC 211, Joanna Jędrzejczyk defending her title for a 5th time against Jessica Andrade. For more on that fight, that night, and all things from the world of mixed martial arts, keep it locked on ESPN.com/MMA.